exclusive. But meanwhile, here are Times Now's sensational riot disclosures. Reports that no other channel has, and that the real motive has been revealed for the first time. Well, after the Kanpur riots, the Yogi Sarkar has vowed to deal with the guilty with an iron fist. While the police is making arrests based on CCTV videos of the violence, the civil administration says that they will raise illegal buildings in the area. Well, Times Now will reveal how Nupur was just the bahana. It was land which was on Nishana. Well, first, hear what the Yogi Sarkar has said.
देखिए 50 लोग अब तक गिरफ्तार हो गए हैं और आगे इन्वेस्टिगेशन जैसे जैसे आगे बढ़ेगा हो सकता है कि गिरफ्तारियों में और इजाफा हो।
पेट्रोल पंप्स का एक मुद्दा नज़र आया। जो उस एरिया के आसपास स्थित पेट्रोल पंप्स थे वो इलीगली जो प्रोहिबिटेड होता है ज्वलनशील पदार्थ को बॉटल्स वगैरह में बेचना, उस तरह का फुटेज हमने रिट्रीव किया और उसको पुलिस को सुपुर्द किया। वी हैव डिसाइडेड दैट वी हैव टू कम अप विद अ आयरन हैंड एंड इन एनी केस सच irregularity or illegality comes to fore. So we'll take a stringent action and as per the legal proceedings we'll take it up. जो KDA norms हैं उनके अनुरूप कार्रवाई करेंगे and जहां भी अवैधानिक रूप से बिल्डिंग्स हैं उनके demolition की जरूरत पड़ेगी तो वो भी करेंगे।
Well, in fact, Times Now returns to the riot site 4 days after the violence singed these streets. Our reporter Amir Haq will show you how illegal buildings were used by rioters to pelt stones even at the policemen. Watch this.
We are deep inside the Chandreshwar Hata area near the Nai Sadak area under Bekanganj police station of Kanpur, wherein violence had erupted last Friday, injuring many policemen and local shopkeepers as well. We are here to find out as to how exactly illegal construction like the one that we see behind us has resulted in mayhem in these areas of old Kanpur, resulting in stone pelting from these unauthorized buildings, as well as stockpile of illegal weapons that had been stored here, which perhaps was used even as per the police to spur violence.
Meanwhile, the locals too say that it was due to the crackdown on illegal buildings that these riots were orchestrated in the first place.
उस दिन जब हमला हुआ था 3 तारीख को, तो उस दिन इस बिल्डिंग से पथराव हुआ है। इस बिल्डिंग से हम लोगों के ये सामने जो मकान देख रहे हैं सब दूसरे समुदाय के लोग हैं और ये हमारा जो है हिंदू समुदाय के लोग रहते हैं। और ये जो आप बिल्डिंगें देख रहे हैं किसी ज़माने में ये भी हमारे हिंदू समुदाय का मोहल्ला हुआ करता था। तो उस दौरान भी इसी तरह के दंगे और बवाल जिस समय होते थे टारगेट करके, तो त्रस्त हो गए हिंदू फैमिलियों ने इन लोगों को बेच के चले गए और हाथा खाली करा दिया। उसका नाम मुल्ला लाल स्ट्रीट था, अब उसका नाम कादरी हाउस हो गया है। यहाँ पर जितनी महिलाएं रहती हैं आप सबसे पूछ सकते हो। जहाँ खड़े हुए हमारा मकान है इस पे ऊपर से पथराव हो रहा था और भद्दी महिला गालियां बकी जा रही थी।
बगल वाला जो हाथा इन्होंने टारगेट करके हासिल कर लिया है उसकी भी मंशा यही है, इसीलिए चंदेश्वर हाथे को टारगेट किया गया। और ये जो ऊंची ऊंची बिल्डिंग अवैध रूप से बनी है, ग्राउंड प्लस 2 या 3 हम बना सकते हैं। और ये 6-6, 7-7 मंजिला जो मकान बना है इसका इस्तेमाल जो किया गया है 40-50 गज में, मतलब ये बिल्कुल योजनाबद्ध तरीके से हुआ है। वहां से पथराव किया गया है और यही उम्मीद करेंगे प्रशासन से इस पर सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई करे, अवैध निर्माण को ढाए।
चंदेश्वर का हाथा बहुत, ये जो एरिया है, ये जिस हाथे में आप बात कर रहे हैं ये बहुत सालों से टारगेट पर है। यहां अगर वायलेंस हो जाता है तो देखिए जो वायलेंस करने वाले हैं वो हो सकता अपने आप को बचा ले जाए, लेकिन अगर दंगे हो जाते हैं देश भर में तो फिर कम से कम सरकार की जो योजना चल रही है उसको कहीं पीछे फेंका जा सकता है। मुझे जहां तक लगता है पूरी योजना इसके पीछे की यही कि कैसे इवेक्यू प्रॉपर्टीज को, एनिमी प्रॉपर्टीज को गलत तरीके से चढ़ाई गई वक्फों को, जिस पर इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रहे हैं, वो कैसे रोकी जाए।
Well, over Over the last few years, the government has been identifying land which falls under Enemy Property Act of 1969. Essentially land of Pakistani nationals which is appropriated by the government. Now it is this land which has been illegally encroached upon, which allegedly is one of the reasons which triggered off anger.
Very pertinent is also the mention of the fact that when you see these tall buildings on both sides of the roads, many of these buildings are actually enemy property. Over the last few years, the government had actually fast-tracked the entire process of identifying these enemy properties, and the custodian of these properties was actually here in Kanpur fast-tracking the case. The mob actually spurred and sparked the violence was actually aware of this activity taking place, and therefore they wanted to put a stop on this entire process of identification of enemy properties and them being taken over by the government by way of removal of encroachments. And therefore perhaps this entire conspiracy of sparking and triggering the violence on Friday, taking refuge or taking an alibi or excuse of the kind of comments that were made by Nupur Sharma was taken.
Well, in fact, Times Now speaks to some of those who live to tell the tale. Here the victims of the riot reveal that till date they live under a shadow of fear.
तो एक जुलूस सामने इस पट्टी से जा रहा था इधर से, फिर जब दूसरा जुलूस जो इस पट्टी से आया है वो चंदेश्वर हाथे के पास वहाँ रुका, वहाँ पे मतलब उन्होंने दुकानें बंद कराने की कोशिश करी, उसमें धक्का मुक्की थोड़ी हाथापाई हुई, आधे गुम्मे चले। मैंने भी अपनी दुकान बंद करी और मैं बाहर आके खड़ा हो गया, मैं देखता रहा, ना मैं इधर जा सकता था ना मैं इधर जा सकता था, मैं तो बीच में फंसा रह गया यहीं पे। मेरी गाड़ी खड़ी थी, उन्होंने गाड़ी में आके आधे गुम्मे चला, गाड़ी तोड़ी, और ये सब सुनियोजित ढंग से उन्होंने काम किया है। बिल्कुल एकदम से अचानक तो ईंटें पत्थर मिल नहीं जाएंगे, पूरी प्लानिंग से विद प्लानिंग के उन्होंने काम किया है यहाँ पे।
ये जरूर है कि हाँ भाई, एक आधे घंटे 15 मिनट जो भी रहा वो एक दहशत भरा माहौल रहा।
जी, आप क्या समझते हैं, क्या गलती किस तरफ से हो गई जो एकदम से
ये रखते गलती किसी तरफ से? तो गलतियां ही हैं, अब जो भी हुई हों बस।
तो आप क्या समझते हैं कि कोई सोची समझी साजिश इसके पीछे थी या यंग लड़के आपा खो बैठे इसलिए ऐसा कुछ हो गया?
इसके कोई विचारधारा नहीं बता पाऊंगा अपनी इसमें। बस हम लोग एक बिजनेसमैन हैं, बस सीधे अपना सुबह से शाम जो निकलता है बस अपनी दुकान पे निकलता है, इसके अलावा कुछ मतलब नहीं।
पर अफसोस हुआ आपको जो कुछ
तो है सर, क्यों नहीं अफसोस है।
So let me go across. Today joining us on the show, Anurag Naidu, a political analyst, also Zeba Yasmeen, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party on the show. Zeba Yasmeen, I'm come to you first. What we just established with our ground reports after Amir Haq returned to the site of the violence is that there was a modus operandi where tall illegal buildings were used, and from their rooftops stones were being pelted, not just on innocents but also the security personnel and the policemen. Will you now accept that the entire narrative which was being built, that the riots were sparked off because of anger over Nupur Sharma and her comments, that Nupur was just the bahana, land was the nishana?
I can't tell you about the intention behind the riot, but yes, nobody on the planet, I would say, appreciate these kind of violent activities. Even Samajwadi Party is against this. If you oppose something, if you're not happy with anything, we have law, we have constitution, we should always go in the right direction. This is not a correct way to fight for your rights. So we don't appreciate this, yes. But as you're saying that Nupur's statement was not the reason behind this, I really little disagree with you. Because see, these kind of riots are always pre-planned. Because all of a sudden, 1,000 of people can't be, gathered. All of a sudden bottles can't be filled with petrol, yes. So many stones can't be collected. So it was all pre-planned, no doubt. But yes, here the lack of management, the lack of police comes that when VVIP movement was there, how could people plan out so much? It's not easy to gather so much stone and bring all of a sudden.
At least you've conceded, Zeba. At least you've conceded, Zeba Yasmeen, that indeed this was a larger conspiracy. Anurag Naidu, what do you make of it? Now that more facts are now coming to light, you've heard the locals coming out and say that it's all about crackdown on illegal encroachments. It had nothing really to do with the statements which are made on one television debate, which couldn't have possibly sparked off a riot like this.
Well, absolutely. I think I'm surprised Zeba is speaking really good tone. I appreciate, and I'm not sure if that is an official stand of Samajwadi Party, but if it is, all kudos to them. But what I actually see is, in the last 2 days when we have been tracking the incidents, there have been a lot of politics going on, and you have said absolutely something which is true. It is not just the statement made by Nupur Sharma, because if it was that, you would have seen a lot of outrage already and not strategically happening. These are not the organically
and she's been punished for it, and rightly so.
Yeah, I mean, it's not organic. No riot these days are organic. It has funding, it has machinery working, and it has a very meticulously planned design. And it doesn't see, even the petrol that is filled in the bottle needs money to buy, and it is a leader. So whether it is a PFI link, whether it is a political link, but what indications are very clear is...
So who really has been instigating the riots is what Anurag Naidu says. We need to get to the bottom of it, and I think even the Samajwadi Party now agrees that it couldn't have been a spontaneous outpouring of anger. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us here on the show. With that, a short break.